For the Thank you. I always forget. Again, if anyone has an issue with it being recorded, just message one of us here on the chat and we can stop that recording. So introductions for those of you that that don't know me. I know most everyone knows Roberta. I'm kind of the newbie, even though I guess we can't say that anymore, can we? I'm Cher Bork, and I'm the executive director, and I work day in and day out with Roberta. So I am happy to see some faces and start connecting names with faces. If we are starting at the beginning, that means we get to start with Claudia. So Claudia, if you, sorry, if you'll just introduce yourself, say where you are and a little bit about you, then we will just kind of go around the room.
Okay, I'm Claudia. My mom's Roberta, and then my sister, I have a twin sister with Alagille syndrome, Chloe Hunt. I'm from Tawas, Michigan.
Okay. All right.
And I'm 17, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm 17, sorry, I forgot to say that.
Bryson?
I am Bryson, my mom is Brittany, and I have 3 siblings, James, Peyton, Reagan, and right now I'm in Beaumont, but I live in Groves, Port Arthur, and I am 13. Texas.
Okay. Okay. Veronica, want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Veronica. I'm 32 years old, not a teenager anymore. And I'm here with my husband, Nick. Want to say hi?
Hi.
Thank you, Veronica. And let's see, I know we are teens, but is Cord in the room, Tara?
He can be. Are you sure you would like him?
He is welcome. He is welcome to say hello if he wants to participate. In the meantime, I will keep going. I'll come back. Andrea, is Sophie? Does Sophie want to say hello?
Hi. Introduce yourself. Age, where you're from.
I'm 15. That's it.
15, we're from Massachusetts.
Awesome. That's nice to hear from you, Sophie. All right, and let's see, who else do we have in here? Sean Kelly, are any of your kiddos in the room?
Yeah, Mira is.
Okay. Mira?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Mira. I'm 13 and I live in New York.
Awesome. All right, and did Cord make it in? So you want to say hello? Okay, no problem, no problem.
He would have to turn his screen off in order to do that. So
not a problem. Not a problem. Anyone else? I don't see anyone else on video, but does anyone else want to introduce? Okay.
Say, I'm Dr. Piccoli. I am very interested in the teenage years, but if you can do the math, I'm scheduled to go to my 50th reunion next month. So not quite a teenager anymore.
Got it. Thank you, Dr. Piccoli. Oh, Jen Aponte, I think you're on mute. Does she want to talk? Does she want to say hello?
Hi. Hi. What's
Hi, sweetheart.
My name is Juliana. How are you? How are you? How old are you? How old are you?
Juliana, tell us how old you are.
Oh, I'm 9.
Right.
Oh, and is there another kids lounge tomorrow?
No, we're done.
There will be. Tara, do you have anything else tonight in the kids lounge?
The flare fair is at 7 o'clock, and anybody
fair.
who joins in.
Yeah, we'll do that. Wait, the flare fair? What's the flare fair?
You'll talk to Miss Tara later. Say
Yeah.
hi.
All right. Okay, anybody else need to introduce? Okay. Hi, Cord.
Hi,
Good to see you. Cord, tell us how old you are.
I'm 9.
Awesome. Okay. So we don't really have a big discussion planned. You know, typically when we are in person for any of those of you. Oh, hi. Hey, Kat.
Say hi.
Hi. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Christina. I'm from New Zealand and I'm 11 years old.
Christina, and you are 11. And tell us where do you live?
I live in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Awesome. Okay, we are so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Usually when we are in person, you guys would all be sitting up on the stage and we would walk around and take questions, you know, from the other parents or other teens, young adults in the audience. So why don't we try that format as best we can? So anyone who has a question for one of our teens or young adults, if you want to raise your hand or just jump in, let's kind of make this an open discussion. And I'll just be here to kind of help moderate. All right, so we do have one quick question already. Well, it might not be quick, but we have a question in the chat. So for anyone who wants to answer, is there or was there one thing that you wish ALGS parents knew, and what would it be? And this is open to anyone who wants to answer. What would you like ALGS parents, other ALGS parents to know? Anyone? Claudia, what do you think Chloe would say? Because you know I'm going to call on you every time.
You'd say anything. She doesn't like to talk. I don't know. Everything is so uncertain that it's just, I don't know. So hard to say.
Yeah. Bryson, anything? Anything that you could tell these parents that have maybe younger kids?
I'm trying to think here. Let's see. I really
Veronica,
can't think right now.
It's okay. It takes a little time for us to get into the groove. Veronica, so you're a little bit past the teen years. Thinking back, was there anything that you wish that your parents had known that maybe you could pass along to some of our other parents?
Still thinking about it.
Okay, not a problem. Anyone else have another question? Or do our teens have any questions for our adults or for Dr. Piccoli? All right, you guys are going to force me to start dancing if you don't.
I think Bryson has a.
Oh,
I think Bryson has a question.
Okay.
Where's it go?
Dr.
Piccoli.
Dr. Piccoli, do you think there'll ever be a cure for Alagille?
I think that's a great question. And the last long talk was about different ways to move towards a cure. Science is moving pretty quickly. I think there are some things that we won't be able to change. You know, things that happened in utero, like if you have a certain kind of heart lesion, we can fix it. That's not the same as cure. but I think there's hope going forward in the future that we should be able to change or improve a number of different things in Alagille syndrome. I'm not sure that's exactly the same word as cure, but I think if we can dramatically improve things, that's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you for letting me know.
We do have one question from Sharon out to all the kids. Who do you talk to for support when other kids are maybe not so nice to you, or about when you're sick or are gone from school a lot? How do you handle that? And is there someone that you talk to, friends or your parents or counselors at school?
Mira, who do you talk to? If anything's going on at school, who would you talk to?
I would normally talk to my mom.
Yeah. Roberta, does Chloe talk to you?
Yep, Chloe will talk to me. She'll talk to her sister. And what are some of the things that you guys get, like, are people mean to you, or do they comment about the way that you look, or if you're short? Like, Chloe gets told she's short all the time, and she's jaundiced, so she looks more yellow, and that gets to be really tough. But she also knows that she's limited, so she struggles. She's always wanted to be in sports, and so she can't run very fast or far, doesn't have the stamina to do some of those things. And like in gym class, kids would tease her because she can't keep up jogging the 1 mile or those kinds of things.
Sophie says she can talk to your friends, definitely can talk to your friends and your parents, and maybe a trusted teacher or a favorite, counselor at school, maybe. What about for our teens? What was the most, and Veronica too, what was the most difficult thing for you growing up as a kid with Alagille syndrome so far? Because a lot of you are still kids. So what's the hardest thing? One of the hardest things.
Well, I can't play football, which sucks because I'm actually really good at it. Yeah. But I could play other sports like baseball, basketball. I do track, a lot of things.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge, especially when it's something that you really want to play.
Really, golf is one of the best things to do too, because there's no running involved.
Right.
Yeah, Chloe's in bowling. She's on the bowling team.
She good at it?
No.
I mean, I'm not so good at myself either, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would tell parents or teachers to do to help in those situations when you're limited in your activities, like your football? My son wanted to play soccer and hockey and all the other stuff like the kids in this class, and he wasn't able to go on a trampoline until the doctor said that was okay when he was old enough. You can't stop, like I can't just let him go do something when I know he's going to fall and get hurt, even though sometimes I think I should just let him go. Is there anything a parent can do or a teacher that can make that suck less?
I really don't know, really. It's a good question.
I think everyone has their limitations, right? Even if it wasn't Alagille syndrome, it would be other things. And so, maybe finding, other friends that are participating in some of the things, like you said, Bryson, like track and baseball and these other things, creating those good solid friendships in those areas too. And then being a fan, of football.
Yeah, my friend Caden, he does the same thing I do. He did track with me, he did basketball with me. Yeah, and we had fun together.
Yeah. Sophie says too, one of the hardest things for her was the itching. Do you guys that are on here, do you guys have the itching right now? Is that a struggle?
Yeah. Yeah. It's nervous
Yeah.
itching.
Yeah. Christina, you're nodding your head too? Yeah.
I don't
Amira?
have the itching as bad anymore because I'm on a study medicine, but when I was little, it was really bad.
Yeah. It's hard. What do you guys do for the itch? What works? Any tips and tricks? Christina, what makes you feel better?
Just itching, really.
Yeah. Scratching. Jen, was that you or Juliana that had your hand up?
That was me. I wanted to know, and this is a question for the teens and the young adults in the room. How did you handle the peer pressure and the times where you couldn't do something? Like comes to mind, once you're 18, this is for Veronica particularly, kids start drinking, kids start partying, and when you have a bad liver, you can't do that. And how do you balance that, having an overprotective parent, because we are all overprotective parents who want to keep you all in a bubble, and just being a kid and being a regular, young adult, young teen, with the limitations that Alagille has posed for you?
Well, it was really hard, because like you say, as a parent, you wanna be there for your kid, and protect him. So my mom was always very protective with me. So she wouldn't let me go like to parties, like reunions. So I was always at home because that way I would avoid, like the bullying or, people making fun of me or that, like giving me to drink. And even if they knew that I couldn't drink, but they were going to insist on me anyways. But, I was like thinking, it's more important my health that for them to like me just because I'm not going to be drinking with them. So I don't know, I think I put that on my mind, like not to feel bad just because they won't include me, just because I don't drink. And I think that was mostly what it helps me, to put that in your mind, that is like, just because you cannot drink doesn't mean that you cannot have fun or do other things. It's not only about drinking or drugs. You can do other things. But yeah, mostly that, to put in your mind that that you can do the things. It doesn't matter what other people say. So I think that.
Thank you for being so frank. I know it's a few years away, but she's only 9, but I mean, it's a concern.
Yeah, I understand, because, I was really like bully when I was a kid too. And, I always had problems with my classmates because they would be like, oh, she's the favorite from all the teachers. She's the favorite and she doesn't do anything. She's not special. But, there's other friends, other kids, or what other thing that what my mom would do is, like at the beginning of the year, go to my classroom and explain everybody what's going on with my health and tell them my limits, with sports and stuff like that. So people and the other kids are aware, what you can do, what you cannot do. And I think it helps a lot, because that way even the teachers or the principal, whatever, they can help you too with all those things. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Thank you. I know the Alliance has a classroom manual that we've used very much, and it's been very helpful for that.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like Christina has used that classroom guide. We can post a link on here in a few minutes to that if you don't have it, especially for the younger kids. It's a great help, especially if you're going in for 504 IEP meetings. It's a big help, definitely. All right, Claudia, I have to call on you again. You're the only sibling on here that I think. So what, most of those on here do have, siblings. So what is one of the, what are your challenges, being a sibling, and how do you deal with that?
I think a lot of like the issues for me were like, or I shouldn't say issues, but like a lot of my problems were people would make fun of Chloe like behind her back and be like, to me, and I can't handle that. So they would be like, oh my God, why is your sister like weird? I'm like, don't ask me. And then a lot of it was, I had to miss out on a lot of stuff. Like Chloe had to miss out on a lot of stuff, but it was like because she had doctor's appointments she had to be at, but I had to like go with her and I had to like miss a lot because of that.
Has it gotten easier as you've gotten older?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't have to go do that anymore, but and also I just, when you get older, like it's easier to understand. A lot of the questions and stuff are more out of like curiosity because you're not gonna know. So yeah.
Okay. Nicole asks, I'd like to know the ways that you all have found helpful in working through the trauma of so much medical involvement. There's a lot of doctor's appointments and there's always labs and visits and, how do you as a kid and a teen, how do you work through that? Because you do have to miss some things and, you have to explain to your friends and your teachers and your peers why you're gone or you're having to miss school so much. How do you guys kind of work through all that? Bryson, you are on mute. I know you were talking to us. He was
just talking, I think.
Say he was.
I was just talking.
If I see your mouth moving, I'm going to call on you.
Oh gosh.
I think I can speak on our behalf that for us, doctor's appointments are just kind of the norm. So for Bryson, he's never known any different in his life.
Yep. True as can be.
Yeah. And so you've just sort of grown up doing it and everyone around you, kind of knows it. What about new people that you meet?
And then the next day that I just go to school and be like, I was gone because I had a doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just matter of fact about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool question because my daughter's 9. Until she was about 6, she thought everybody went to the doctor like every 6 to 9 weeks. It was like, what do you mean you don't go to the doctor every 3 months?
Yeah, so she's just kind of starting out, kind of noticing that. Let's see, how about, I haven't heard from Mira. I haven't heard from you in a minute. So what about you? How do you kind of work through having lots of appointments and different medical challenges? How do you work through that with your friends?
Well, my close friends, they know about it, so they understand when I'm gone and stuff. But new people, if I want to become friends with them, I do talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. And so let me ask you guys, this is kind of an open question, and I would like to hear from all of you. How do you explain Alagille syndrome to somebody, like to a new friend that you meet? I would like to hear how you explain Alagille syndrome.
So what I would do, I would just tell them that Alagille syndrome is a syndrome that affects my heart, my liver, all the stuff inside my body. And that's really all I say. And it affects a lot of things in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Veronica, how did you explain it? Or how do you still explain it?
Basically just the same, you know. That is a very complicated syndrome that affect different parts of the body, you know, different organs. In my case was the liver at first. But yeah, just like that. I think it's more easy for other people to understand like that, if you say it like that. So yeah.
Claudia, when someone would say something to you about Chloe, would you say, you know, she has a rare disease or she has a liver disease, or you would just, what would you say?
It pretty much goes, so like it's like a liver disease kind of, but it's not just a liver disease, but like it's mostly liver and it makes her really itchy, and that's what I say.
Yeah. Okay. And Mira and Christina, how do you guys describe Alagille syndrome if someone asks you?
I usually just say it mostly affects the way my liver works, and when I was little, it made me really itchy.
Okay.
The way
Christina?
I explain it is basically it's just this disease that affects your liver and your heart, and it's just a family disease, kind of.
Yeah.
Because all my family has it.
Yeah. We've gotten to know, I guess your grandmother. We've gotten to know her the past day and a half. She's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
And Sophie, now Sophie is post-transplant. How has that changed, Sophie, with you and how you have to explain Alagille syndrome to people?
It's like I don't even know it's there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it doesn't affect you like it used to, right?
No.
Is anyone else here had a transplant? Veronica, you have?
Yeah, I had a liver and kidney transplant.
Okay. Okay. Hannah, is that you or Damien with your hand up?
It's me.
Okay.
So this one's going to be personal to each one, probably going to be a little bit different. So when my son was younger, like 2 or whatever, obviously he didn't really have much of a say whether I posted about doctor's appointments and took pictures of him getting x-rays and ultrasounds and all that stuff. But he's 10 now and starting puberty very clearly. So he's very more vocal about what I take pictures of, what I share. I have to ask him, like when we go to appointments or something, I'm like, hey, hold on a second. Sorry, that's him yelling at me. So of like what I can post, like, hey, you had an appointment and these were the results. Do you want like your grandma and grandpa to like know, like, do you want me to update family on this? Like, where are you comfortable with? And as parents, like, we want to advocate so that way there is a cure for you. You know, like we want, you know, future generations to have these cures and bring awareness so it's not so hard on you and other kids are aware of it. But then there's still this, like, I just don't want to share what's going on, especially on hard days. So where do you like, do you feel like, is it a struggle? Like your parents share too much and you wish they won it? Are you comfortable with sharing about it? Or do you prefer it to be more private? Like where do you lay on that?
Anyone want to jump in? Go ahead.
I am speaking a lot for my sister, but I know that she, you don't, she doesn't want to share anything ever. I think she just feels like it's very like personal. I'm sure she's fine with like family knowing, but when it's put out on Facebook or like a lot of pictures with her, she doesn't like it.
So I feel like Alagille should be known to the world, so I just let the pictures go how they go. Just let them be posted.
Very different answers there.
Yes.
Very personal. Sophie, I know you don't really deal with it too much right now, but you know, we have, I mean, Team Sophie has, you know, been around for a long time, and there was a lot, you know, posting and talking about it. And how did you feel at the time and looking back now? Were you comfortable, you know, if there was something that your mom needed to share, wanted to share, pictures or whatever?
Oh, I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah.
Invasion
Okay.
of privacy.
Yeah. Are you better with it now, or you still really just don't want to talk about it, or don't want it out there?
No, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's like nothing anymore, basically.
I think for Sophie with the walk was always a great event, and she loved the fact that we had this event every year, but she also didn't like being the center of attention. She didn't want her picture taken. She didn't want any kind of attention drawn to her.
Okay. Okay. Mira, how do you feel about that?
Well, my mom really only shares stuff with family, but she more have shared about my brothers on like Facebook and stuff. So I don't really care because she only really shares it with family.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else want to answer that question? Jen?
So I wanted to ask, especially, like I said, the teens and the young adults, when did you get involved in your medical care? Because my daughter's 9, as you've seen, and we're, you know, we always give her a little bit of time with the doctors to ask her questions. And, you know, sometimes she has some, sometimes she doesn't. But at what moment did you become like an active participant in your medical care?
Maybe for the older ones, maybe Bryson and Veronica.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on Bryson's behalf. For him, it's always just been what we do. He's never really asked any questions. He's never really known any difference to his life. So when we go, more recently, we're having more issues with his kidneys. We're having some problems in that area, and he's kind of more aware now. But still, I have to say that the way that he handles it amazes me every day.
That's great.
I feel the same way about Sophie as well. We've always been very open with Sophie growing up that this is what she has, this is how it affects her. And nothing has ever been kept from her. And I think when she was going through her transplant at 10, that's when she started to advocate for herself, to have what needed to be done to make her more comfortable. And she was really, really good about telling the doctors what was okay and what was not.
And I think we heard yesterday several parents say, you know, the best thing that they can do is make sure that the doctors talk to you guys and not about you. So if you're in an appointment, we just want to make sure that, that the people in the room are talking to you, not just about you, right? That kind of helps you to have your own voice, in your medical care. Let's see. I was just looking here at, see if there's another question that came in. Hi, Judith.
Hello. Can I just make a comment that touches on, 2 or 3 of the questions that have come up? My son, who is Catherine's younger brother, he has Alagille, and he keeps the whole thing kind of very close to his chest, really. He doesn't sort of share a lot with it, sort of, I think, to friends and the rest of it. But when it comes to his medical appointments and the rest of it, he, even right through into his late 20s, he would ring and say, "Oh, Ma, can you please come with me? I've got this appointment at the gastroenterologist. I've got to go for my checkup. Will you come and take me?" And I mean, this is a young chap that's got everything together, a very responsible job, doing really, really well in life. And yet when it comes to all of that sort of thing, he didn't really have the confidence to be able to say, and they'd say, "Oh, Mum, you come with me because you've got the language, you can understand." So I'd sort of, jump in the car and have a 4-hour drive down to take him to his appointment. And so, I mean, I think that that's interesting, and it's only now I think that he's sort of becoming a little bit more kind of autonomous with that part of his life. If he keeps his appointments, that's another thing. And
how old is he?
it's his birthday today, actually. He's 38.
Okay. Oh, happy birthday.
And the other thing too around, it was very interesting when we as a family were diagnosed in the early 1980s. That, I mean, we were very much, I guess, sort of like a medical oddity as a family, really, with 3 generations. And it became sort of a bit of an issue, I think, for my husband in particular, who started to really object to the fact where we were constantly being summoned to be presented at big medical congresses in New Zealand. When there'd be a visiting gastroenterologist or a visiting professor from here or there or whatever, we'd be called upon and we'd have to go and be exhibited. And that was, it was quite difficult for a while.
Yeah. So I have a question over here. Let me get back up to it. All right, so the question is, when you, let me just phrase it properly. When you get, this is for the teens and young adults, when you get really tired of dealing with your Alagille syndrome, when you just want to say, "I'm just done," how do you manage to get through those feelings? Because you still have to have your medical care. So how do you navigate those feelings of, "I just want to be done with this"? And that's for anybody that wants to answer. Or I can call on you. Or moms and dads, welcome to answer, if you recall times when, when that was happening. Of course, you can definitely chime in.
There is times where I wish I didn't have allergies, though.
And what do you do, in those times when that's the hardest, when you're really wanting to play football and you're really wanting to do some of the things that you can't do, how do you, what do you do to talk yourself through that?
I just say to myself, you gotta deal with it. It's what you are and what you have.
Yeah. Do you all have friends, other friends that have Alagille syndrome or are in this community?
No, no, ma'am.
Everyone's so spread out. Mira, do you know any other kids who have Alagille syndrome?
Not really. Besides my brothers, not
Yeah.
really.
Christina, do you know any other kids with Alagille syndrome?
13 of us in the family. There's 13 of us in the family, but I don't know any other kids that have it.
Okay. 13 people in your family. Does everyone hear that? It is, like Judith just said, I mean, they are, they are one for the books, definitely.
So I'll speak as a mom here. We definitely noticed Liam had his third open heart surgery almost 2 years ago. And after that, we knew that we could see, sorry guys, we could clearly see that he was just exhausted by medical everything. And so we did actually, we talked to his GI and some of his other doctors, and we made a choice to kind of take a break from everything medical for about 6 months, including we skipped rounds of regular labs and other things that just to keep him out. We felt he was stable enough, and yeah, so we found a way to kind of take a break for a little while. So that's how we've handled it. And I mean, he's only 5, so we're still relatively new, but yeah, we took a break.
Right. Okay, here's a non-Alagille question that everyone has to answer. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do with your career, your job when you grow up? Okay, I'm just going to go in order. Bryson, you're first. You're at the top of the screen.
I really don't know what I want to be or I want to do when I grow up yet. I really don't know
yet.
No.
All right.
Okay. We kind of just live for the day, one day at a time.
Okay.
I'll figure it out later in life.
Okay. Mira?
I really don't know yet, but I either really want to be a photographer or a special needs dance teacher.
Okay, that's awesome. You dance?
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, Claudia.
I don't know. I wanted to teach English for a long time to non-native English speakers. Or I wanted to work in government. But I don't know about that now. So guess I'll just see where life takes me.
Okay. What does Chloe want to do?
I think she wants to do interior design or something weird like that.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Christina?
I want to be either paramedic or doctor.
Oh, what kind of doctor?
Someone who works in the ED.
Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. All right, and so let's see, I think that's our teens, but if Juliana's there, would she like to tell us what she would like to be?
She is actually not, she ran off, but I do know what she wants to be. Okay. She wants to be a medical researcher. She wants to cure Alagille. She's had this goal since she went to Symposium in 2019. Excellent. So that's where she's at right now.
Okay. Well, she met a lot of people at that event, right? That could inspire her for sure.
She did. Dr. Picoli, Dr. Dong, and, when she met all the researchers and all the doctors, she's like, I want to do that.
Yeah. So, Judith, let me ask you, as the matriarch of a family with 13 Alagille warriors. How do you balance? How do you balance everything? All the appointments and just all the medical challenges, and how do you balance it with your own as well?
Yes, I mean, it was certainly very challenging when the children were younger. You know, I would say that sort of probably for the first 10 years with both of the children were quite tough. And, you know, on top of that, I was also working most of the time. So yes, it was a matter of, you know, juggling a lot of balls in the air and needing to somehow remember that, you know, the session yesterday and caring for the carers, you know, I mean, a lot of that really resonated with me, you know, the need to, you know, designate, even if it's half an hour in a day, to devote to doing what you need to do to kind of get re-energized. Yeah.
That was a fantastic session. Any of the parents that are on here, if you want to go and check out that recording, Caring for the Caregiver yesterday, that was an incredible session, and one that I know everyone can certainly benefit from. Do any of our teens or young adults have anything that they, you know, we talk about here at the Alliance, and your parents probably do, and we talk about the patient voice. So that just means that however you are feeling and what you're thinking and what your needs are, we take that, you know, not just into consideration, but that drives everything that we do here at the Alliance. Is there anything that any of our teens and young adults want to tell the other parents or tell us, tell the doctors? We can pass that along, the researchers, scientists that are working in Alagille syndrome. Is there anything that you want to say to them or to us? We have a quiet bunch today. You guys are not making my job very easy. See, if I was in person, I would just walk up to you with the microphone, stick it in your face, Claudia, over and over again, wouldn't I? Anything anybody wants to say before we close? Claudia, ask your mom if there's anything she wants me to talk about.
Mom, is there anything? No. Okay. She says no.
She doesn't want to talk.
I wish.
I'll do your video.
I know. I wish I could have just one doctor instead of like 7 of them, just for one thing. One for everything.
Yeah, right. And Bryson, is that because you just want to deal with one person? Maybe you have a favorite, or you just don't want to have to go to as many appointments?
Yeah. That's what I keep traveling everywhere. Just go one place every single time.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
So I do have a question too. How do you guys handle your homework? Do you get behind in your homework a lot? Because Chloe gets behind in her homework, and then it's a real struggle to catch up. And then she has a 501c3, or not a 501, she doesn't have a nonprofit, a 504.
Yeah, sometimes I do get a little behind, but I still manage to catch right back up.
Yeah, good. She does not like me to mention the 504.
She's like, I don't need it.
I don't need it. And then she gets upset, which I totally understand. You know, but she catches herself back up. But I wondered how you guys handle it, getting behind like that. And then are you able to catch up? Does it affect your grades? Do you miss a lot of school? Do you miss out on activities in school?
Yeah, if I have to go to a doctor appointment, I usually tell them, can you please hand me the homework before I leave or something like that, so that way I can do it, so I can get it done before I get back.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a suggestion from a teacher's perspective, potentially from knowing about missing school. COVID-19 actually made things quite useful for our students that do miss school regularly. So I don't know if it's the same where you guys are, but Office 365 or Google Classrooms now enable us to leave all of our classroom information online for students. So it's a good way to keep your students up to date. So I've got quite a number of students currently, for one reason or another, are out of school. And so I just put all of my content online for them. So that's a new thing that's available to students and may help some of our Alagille teenagers.
Yeah. Something positive that came out of that, right?
Yep.
I would like to ask one last question. Indra, I'm not sure if you are still with us, but is there anything from a research perspective that would be helpful for you to know from our teens before we let them go? And again, you may not be on here any longer.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
Kamesh is here too. I let him.
Oh, good. Hi, Kamesh. Everyone, this is Kamesh and Indra. If you don't know them, they're Alagille researchers.
I think the only thing I'd want to say is anyone who does want to do research, I think you should, and here at Stanford Research, we do encourage younger guys to get involved. There are programs for high school students and college students to come try out research, So anytime you guys want to come, I'm more than happy to give you a tour of our labs and tell you what we do. And I honestly believe that, improving the Alagille syndrome condition is really going to come from someone who's really close to the patients or the patients themselves, just because it is a hard disease to really find treatments for. And I think you need someone who's completely dedicated to it. Not saying we're not dedicated to it. It's just that I think there's a whole new level of dedication that comes from you guys who are seeing it, firsthand. So I would definitely encourage anyone who is interested in doing, following research to do it, because there are a lot of opportunities, and the technology is really changing. And I think things like Alagille syndrome we should definitely focus on, and we should be able to find to improve the life of people suffering from that a lot. The more people are involved in it, the more likely we are going to find better therapeutics and so on. And I think it's the right time to get involved in biomedical research.
Okay. And thank you for being such an inspiration. I can't imagine what you all deal with this disease, but thank you so much.
Thank you both for your
work. You are very welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone have any last words? We have about 5 minutes. It looks like we have Dr. Piccoli back. If anyone has any questions for him or Dr. Piccoli, if there is anything that I know you get to see kids all the time, but if there's anything that you would like to ask before we let them go, because they are ready to go, Dr. Piccoli. They're ready to go more than you were last night at 11 o'clock.
So I shouldn't say, sorry, what did I miss, right?
They have been fantastic, actually.
Great.
This is a tough platform, but they've been fantastic. Okay, guys, thank you all so much. If you think of anything else that you do want to ask any of us, or like we talked about the patient voice, if there's anything that you want to tell us, our line is always open, and your parents all know how to get in touch with us. And you guys are all the future. You're the future of research, and you're the future clinicians, and you're the future parents. And so, we want to hear from you. What you have to say is extremely important. So don't forget that.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you to the parents for making that happen. All right. Bye, guys.
Next 7:40.
Bye.